me be very clear about what I mean by the title. I really do mean that She-Hulk is trash. It is not that good. But it's nowhere near as bad as people say it is. Now, out of all the Marvel shows, the only one that's close to as this bad is Hawkeye, because Hawkeye is just so forgettable. At least all the other ones have decent characters with some action. I think She-Hulk is overhated, though, because honestly, say what you will about its directors and the whole feminist side, She-Hulk is sadly the result of another forced female protagonist. There's so many cool ones in Marvel, and they keep forcing them. They did this with Captain Marvel, and they're probably going to do it again at some point. In my advice, if they want a good female protagonist that people can actually enjoy, don't force it. They keep forcing things. Everywhere keeps forcing things. Don't force a female protagonist. Just let it happen and develop naturally, like JoJo from Stone Ocean. Jolene is probably one of my favorite female protagonists because she's as smart and stronger than most of the men in her family. And on top of all of that, she isn't forced as a female protagonist. She's just a normal protagonist that happens to be female, and for that reason, you can actually kind of love it. She's not the most likable, but that's a different opinion altogether. To be honest, She-Hulk really isn't that good. I'll say it again and I'll keep saying it. She-Hulk really isn't that good. At best, it's like slightly below mid. It's nowhere near as good as any of the other TV shows, but at the very least, it's not that bad. Again, I know there's something with like female feminist directors. I watched a bunch of videos about it. They're trying to like force things and make a strong female protagonist, and it's just not working. She-Hulk is suffering because of it. But honestly, out of the 4 I've watched so far, it's really not that bad. I mean, obviously they could very easily mess it up. I know there's supposed to be like a few more episodes coming out. It's very easy to mess that up. They could very much so make this the worst show, in my opinion. Could flip on that very easily. It's so easy. They could mess this up altogether right now, but so far it's just barely okay. And it's just not absolute garbage is what I'm saying. And again, yes, I have watched the show. Yes, I've seen that scene. But really, it's just not that bad. It's not as bad as people say, and it's not my favorite. It's very forced. It doesn't have a flow like all the other shows did. The other shows were very clearly defined as comedy or action or something. This is like suffering because it can't pick a lane. It's drama at times. It's like Better Call Saul at times. It's just confusing because it's a comedy at heart, but there's occasionally action, and it doesn't pick a lane, and it suffers from that. I actually enjoyed She-Hulk, but as a character, but for the most part, it's just really nowhere near as good as any of the other shows. But again, it's not a steaming pile of turd. It's just a pile of turd. It's not steamy. And I'm not going to defend the show because it's really not that good, but I just need people to realize that the show isn't as bad as people say it is. On top of all of that, I probably will be taking a sort of break, uploading once every 2 weeks instead of once each week like I've been trying to do for the last however long. Not necessarily any higher quality videos, but I'll be binging a lot of shows and hopefully making a few videos about that. I have a Shrek video that's been in the making for like a month, but I've just been collecting things for it and just tossing it in a pile, and I've got to sort through all that and edit that. I'll hopefully be making a Breaking Bad video in, at this rate, a year, but who knows. On top of all of that, I'll have a video on Afro Samurai hopefully next, and we'll go from there. So that's about it. See ya.